It's notary public.
Ken and I can say say we a lawyer na you can say we the over senior legal practitioner say we the over 10 years at the bar.
That's right.
Your friend will say be yes adwuma also say oba be adwuma say lawyer no we the mfie ebru mfie du enti no e free mfie du ekro no say wo hyehyeye ne udwuma die ne wanamontu no ade a watoto ne yie. There's a word dispense that's this with integrity. A come and as a can be a new one. Also to me the application ekodom a chief justice any judicial service no say saba so body I mean who say that is the highest honor and I say aboso body I beti and the monyam sha beti me dia ma a lawyer our private legal practitioner say ye be ma sa akwenya say a free sada no kono utumi authenticated document with your seal as a notary public. And I think say so far no by grace of God ye mate no here the jubilee class no ye di be 18 years at the bar now. So by maybe 2 years I will be 20 years at the bar. And the application kotum na nyankopadum judicial service and chief justice listen na afiwe ye show musa ni munyam say notary public no na beka ho bi enti aseda and ye me ahohoa say na beka ho bi na asudi ensusu say ujuma die bia wudi bia no so obema ehon atie say sajidi na ide ama so to me authenticated documents say basa ko authenticated documents na ko basa echi no one due diligence wo so ye na ye ya na so no one ni no crabwa omaga na ti ken mozo da mo ase ne mo mpaibo ene amukoso abodima eno ni ma asenke ni baby.
Thank you. But baby can say na obetimi dia authenticate as a strong English word nti na person oba from near tiase
o say empempi no ma me fambra fam say o say wo ye krata bi na krata no yesi edimu a ya na call commissioner for oath na mo di seal kokobi e dey atare so ana so dey aboso e bia na statutory declaration e na waye e the commissioner for oath no the seal no red mark no e be tare so e dey stamp na wa sign a e so no betina nanim e na abeye sa krata no on the face of it obi ehu a ogitum say krata no sabi edimu
okay
na the highest form of sade no any notary public no unse pempi no so obi wa brochire na ebi opeso ye power attorney de bro bi wo Ghana na ogina ma no ewo anamon bi opeso tuma na yese agesa okotena obi oye notary public enim now the stamp and the seal esiso egitum say ensema waka wom no no kre na obeka won enim and all that obeso ko school abrochire bo say certificate na wakoji every institution krono ansa na abrochire institution na wokono obeji sa certificate na to no be say agisa okobi o ye notary public na ordinary seal and an stamp esi so authenticate say a authentic document by embassies and international contracts and agreements. So Ken, authenticating that document no mean say would they seal a so agiatum say and semna a woman idea edimu and I say no cray and the idea
say no crown on fancy will be a while so ye radio obetimi akase sese na so no su jai na okoko ye advert na ade na obusa se bia o hia say notary public be endorse we ya na oji eba na no su ji commission
because can entisa ye ntauto ye nkobonda rules so that
saben ka say ye wo na okota oti me se bia hwe masetrema na me ye na no beboa se me lawyer na so far court nsensemu ananse ni huhu ewo mu Wontumi versus Republic of Ghana baako na ye kan say Samaboy baako Numeri Forest na baako nso so Exim Bank ni na mi huhu they say me huhu bi
Ken the tianese chema Wontumi all those cases no akoye Republic versus be a mining as the first accused person, now be a chema Wontumi as the second accused person and all that. Now Tano the case I need decline no Samurai boy concession case no. And no said ya would no ye dear asem no ya Justice Audrey Kokuviti one man judgment. I'll say Emfache Wontumi and Kotum for 20 years no. Na sene de bia Yamekano. Lawyers are nasa breno and the appear could be the DNM. And I them at the match Wontumi contaminating right from the onset. And I can't say you heard Quaduna na charges I their bomb. And net charger you can't say Wontumi illegal mining. And I am on the charges say contaminating so illegal mining. Nemum na charge na koye mienu say Wontumi no a contaminating concession no. Papa bi a friend Henry Okum abehunu so pese ono no ekoye land reclamation say the concession na ma enkrofo so di kan ekoye galamsey concession no part bi a wo no eye large scale mining dey ama wo nti won hyase say wo ye ejuma no krofo bi di kan akoye ejuma wo so land reclamation ne say wo kodua Nduaba bi ti se kube anasa abe anasa whatever na ama land na timi asan aye den abe fertile land a obetimi de adjumenti ono specifically na akoye kube dua ho asem na nchiremu a bepesa mi chem de se isese yo ne Henry Okum ye no a ebe da di ewo court no kire se so kodua kube na kube no nyina omukoti kube no na emfaso bi omubenye bia no ombeche mienu Henry Okum no ebenya 50% or the bet ne car or the eco invest was land reclamation no na 50% eco chema Wontumi. Now the interesting bit about this whole case in say of all the 4 witnesses are state in free no witness court no gina so odibu asem no witness ba ko pede Henry Okum no. Because all the other witnesses, as first prosecution witnesses, Michael J. do not ye juma edema Henry Okum. And the next prosecution witness, so called CID no an investigation. And then the last one was Minerals Commission for lawyer, law, IFA mining and all that. So the only principal witness and a testimony court no gina so or de bua asem no Henry Okum. Henry Okum asem a oka ye nyina so ene se ono de okoye search o Minerals Commission ena omo kire de se sa concession no chema Wontumi ene akonta mining dia enti opeso ye reclamation no ko hu no na ote asema no na na se ma oka ne so ote asema no chairman promise no say obebua no na wanya emfidie ana se enema ede be yes land reclamation no na enam say chairman ambua na mana nya sa enema no so de koye land reclamation ti no ono no fa ne say asase no bi da ho aye ndi kan ye so mine na obetimi akwa akotu agudie wo so na o de finance sa land reclamation na o ye kubedua no ana chairman Wontumi so say bema se me no mema okwan se kutu agudie wo me masase amakotua dollars bebre akoje mining lease me be large scale mining se me mema okwan se kutu gold na for finance sa land reclamation the other than kamia me nkotu sa gold no na me first ka no mo bi pa no nko land reclamation so me ma okwan se koye gold ana kutu gold wo masase so enti chema Wontumi word say ma kwan se kutu gold na mom me ma kwan se koye land reclamation ene Henry Okum word say o ma me kwan se me nkodua ko be ne enso enam say enema bia na also de beboa wan fa mboa menti no na wonim say me to gold na me dia finances our land reclamation no titia enti na akoye say judge no why story ena obegye di kwan de na onyinie yen throughout the trial yen can say so we say wa sign a concession no e de ama Henry Okum and I want Kojitumian free Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Honti and I will prosecute no dear assignment na oye no ho adanse no ewo he omo amfa adanse bia ye documentary ma say ye can say assignment document ani ni ye ni say ye sign this date we bia sign yo nemo court no fa ni say Henry Okum no akwa asase no so say okwa akọ too good ewa asase no so no eye assignment of the concession patrot ma say but lawyers ye can assignment in its proper sense say yeti o de bia say nkrofo assign o asase e bia sublease o assignment wako bi o lease o person de asase ma obey assignment obi o fie o asase bi so no person transfer de ma obey assignment kin a document a sign
and by word of mouth.
How can you assign a concession by word of mouth? A right in a mining lease, I am our right to mine over that land. And to that right, legally you can only transfer that right through documenta, evidence say on so and so date, and I will transfer interest at the map. Now me no what I say. Obia meka say by say chema wontumi ma Henry Okum kwan so onkoye land reclamation intino chema wontumi any right ye de man no e wo lease no say ono e na ye lease holder e wo asase no so ba won say by law no was sign it wasase e de ma obi a wo interest in the land wo assign the ma obi a wo no wan lose sa interest no e dey say what talk kai. So person transfer car and the ma another person. I see the form C the transfer. Wontumi nka all the one no na transfer car and what on the amount be. There must be evidence, a documentary evidence which is form C. And they right from the onset. Ye jinem say, chema wontumi assign it na say interest I the man no amfa ma Henry Okum. Chema wontumi am permitting Henry Okum say onkoye mining.
Na Henry
Okum am media dance here wo court to say mining na me koye no. Na ochi bia na menya ounce of gold no me ensa ananan na me koye akonta ma chema wontumi emu ba akopempo. So Ken without sad and say na chema wontumi a benefit from some mine and Henry Okum directly no den and I
court no amamu baby say Henry Okum no adwuma no kokoye no bia na odi bibi brechema
absolutely nothing
enti ono no obi ema wadwuma se kokoye a wan fande adwuma no na o ye Father Christmas and assessing
Jama wontumi dey say me nyame na me be finance when they say me finance me engage nkrofo na nka me this scanner mom no mo aye reclamation it is say wo say as a abunu kind of wo kwa finance na process ebeba no ya chem enti wo no o cost awa inke no o percentage a ubenya dey free process no na dey be the free cost enye me na wo say me finance wo
okay
and we no so say o na say o ka say o be boa me amama ye chema wontumi sis na me no mema wako 2 me gold e dey akọ finance the reclamation the other hand na me anka me nyema de so that is the bad court no wa kwanya say obe believe ni Henry Okum eka ana say obe believe ni chema wontumi eka by law no yenye susu say and Uber Court of Appeal decision ya abeya me sure say beba so burden of proving the guilt of an accused person beyond reasonable doubt underlined Ken eye contain article 19(2)(c) of the constitution is clear and until no sa burden no okwa evidence act no ma and so throughout the trial no a state and the was soon they say obe prove the guilt of Chema Wontumi. It is also wakoye assignment of concession. And the Henry Okum wankoje minister permissioner. Sa ingredient of all the offenses now with the abono they was also now proved throughout the trial say evidence now a support to side any. Yeah say sa evidence no state no and to me and farmer. But court no say or no there ne susu yem no. State not me approve the case. Owie so owie prosecution we the case. Submission of no case. Submission of no case judge no anyantum enti ye appeal ken mene wo kasa na ye di asemawi a ya convict chairman Wontumi 20 years no sa appeal na ye against the dismissal of submission of no case Court of Appeal enya kwanya antie sa appeal no because record na e wo say registry no e wo high court no to me compile na ye settle sa record no na ye de koye sa appeal no antimi amaso e de ye di asem na wi a ya convict chairman Wontumi a sentence no
enti the person me busa biem ne say e de be kwadu e na na ye de abo chairman Wontumi
bienu
de di kai ne say de menti ase ne say yes oye illegal miner na
no
na charges no ne say
the charges near two first one no say wa sign the concession no ye de man no
e de
ama Henry Okum without ministerial approval full stop.
Okay, first charge no.
Second charge no purposefully facilitating mining activity was our concession no. Two charges.
Okay. Now person say say me no me no yeah DB na se tiamra. Why should I be the only one to be punished? Granted say the okay say or the adema obi any so the manner it is said you wakotokro no there say you are equally guilty and yes
of course
intino was Okum not equally guilty of being given something that is unlawful something person
can I know na exciting and
what will question person
my two question as say ono Henry Okum no throughout the process adansi obedi wo court any adansi e won record no ogitum say na oye mine was asase so what am I say and as I mine now koye na police for koche no gold o mo ko nya was asase so excavators o mo ko fire bibia ogitum say ono na ye ne dia enti nanka attorney general o mo be prosecute no for illegal mining na some few days I am be put to case no before the court and on attorney general for years plea bargaining we decided say so better testify against chairman Wontumi the any omum prosecute no na no na question na usadi a wo bi say ni say omo koye complaint because complainant and a petition omo de kodom CID na empanyifo mienu Dr. Kenashigbe any lawyer Martin Pebu and a petition say there is enough evidence I say chairman Wontumi illegal mining sufficient evidence I bet say chairman Wontumi illegal mining ti omo prosecute no because under the MPP no mo prosecute no now then sa petition na say there's sufficient evidence that chairman Wontumi illegal mining enti yem prosecute no then say yankoje ye ne Henry Okum anko ye enhyehyeye say o testify against chairman Wontumi a enka ye nya danse bia say ye de try chairman Wontumi ajeli no then so na sa Henry Okum no ogitum say na oye mining wa asase no so no yam prosecute no na mbom the owner of asase no o say ono mfa Henry Okum say onkoye mining no mbom e na ye prosecute no aye say ajeli no eno de can me to me
in course of the trial
as a Ghana for the business
was there any point in time Martin Pebu any Kenashigbe omo ba court ebe testify
obi a ma court am testify
omo na petitioners
omo na me fan say omo throw petition call CID say aban so omo hwe na omo prosecute
but omo de yanjo
omo testify
ena yanji omo
letter omo petition no omo throw no ayi for the CID was part of the CID for no omo documents omo rely on
up close and personal
anything about na me take Kenashigbe na or can say with the greatest of respect to him me take say publicly na all lament say 20 years no Christ and ananka was all moment full 25 years no me who jure me because here is somebody also campaigning against illegal mining. What some said there was sufficient evidence HSHM want to me illegal mining. You then a court no you charging for illegal mining. Are you not concerned? Say I'm charging for illegal mining. 1. 2, no, are you not concerned? Send ya or no G2 mwa confess sena or illegal mining no. Young prosecutor on old Dr. Kenashi, are you not concerned? Why you not asking questions? I didn't take judge no dear. Why ye juma? Say judge, what's na jum? What's your evidence? And no ninsusu yim no or way evidence no susu say. Chema Wontumi or you're guilty for say wa permitting Henry Okum. Amana koye mining won assassin so without approval until you're guilty until the nako akotum 20 years unko to fine and all that. Our juma that chapter is closed. Now Chema Wontumi wa kwenya say obeko appeal against conviction
no,
and
overcall appeal bit no but chief maybe ye duma necessary say me obi aba no ba beton telephone we mame na okwa okoku wiai wa beton amame ye china me aye beton mame say na mo ba betime so ka ho
of course
so I'm wondering why ogum as okum no okum sorry thank you okum no wa tokro no de na ono re okọ wo de wo tokro no de no ma no nko ana ase yaso no mu ehonum no etwetwema so kakra ananso so say yese oye plea bargain ema abiding in saturn no so that's enough sanity ana wona throughout the trial wona na me hu
the minima ne say Henry Okum yam prosecute no the minima so no say Henry Okum adanse a obediye say Chema Wontumi nim say ono oye mining e wa asase no so e dia finance land reclamation no titro na court no gina so a odi jeri Chema Wontumi the minima so no say me no kasa nei no asuwaya yam prosecute no ono de me ntumi nkyere asuwaya judge no na obelieve Henry Okum say na sema waka no kyere say Chema Wontumi asane concession no edema no asuwaya judge no believe say Chema Wontumi asema o ka say o permit ne say onkoye land reclamation and not mining no afterthought no judge no
okay
the judgment no let's see what the court of appeal and so ebeka and I'm happy say who's the day na omo interview I said say even though at the latter stages ye free case in lawyer Tachiana ebe take over no we say strong notice of appeal any grounds Atachian lawyer Tachian firm no e de akwakoto court of appeal anima made madwen yem say emiripam no se court of appeal nya kwanya no tia appeal na enipa ebetumi efri appeal no maba there's strong basis for sa appeal na
okay say what can we say a nipa to the petition say CID say ni
but people ne kana she
be possible say obi so betimi a petition CID say ukum enso so no ayewe amo no so yati is it one I lawyer
me no ti
basically in law is that correct?
I mean so every citizen bia opportunity say person or petition say osusu say enye bibi say ya civil society almost omoye a concern about illegal mining or mo betimi I raise questions say why say am prosecute okum and all that is up to them but me point in say me no ti me nim arrangement ene nhyehyɛ ya plea bargain na okum ni attorney general for koye no ne ewo patwatomase ne be de minima na say conviction na court to convict Chema Wontumi e wo charges aye de born so no me susu ye ne say emra kwan so ene evidence e kopie wo court no me susu say me ne court no ya adwea enye yi. The next stage is to appeal against the conviction and sentencing. And the attachment to Sana Mono. Yenshe ni be free enum diaba because they say some be prosecute okumo, omum prosecute no. The interest is Chema Wontumi freedom. Ayen susu say kwan fa so aye jailing no enye kwampa so no. That is Wontumi. As to what happens to hukum and prosecution and all that, that is up to the state.
Okay. Lawyer Nijan yes. Yene didn't come over hano na or member of the legal team or Republic versus Akonta Mines and
Wontumi, yes.
But lawyer, if you don't say lawyer, so no, we a lawyer, yeah, most of the times we trophy ni say wait me ye case, my case no. Or client are successful and that's why successful. But it do point to be now more who say more lose and I say more lose, you know. You chickened out. Timer more firm and I say only kind of say the appear more free, you know. Be no sana me say oh now more say more bad case. Was it?
Oh can you decline me tum say a lawyer for an accused person would trophy any say while we in a case. About criminal prosecution, okay, civil case depending on the nature of the case, no, may not be arguing. In criminal prosecution, accused person is entitled to legal defense. That's why it's only been poor state, you know, as soon as say, Obebuana no appel lawyer at the amano. In this case, you know, yeah, the charges are bought Wontumi. What would they say? Emra, I walk Ghana no share state, you know, say. Charge biya or the abo accused person biya and onkofa adanse embra me prove charges with the requisite degree of proof beyond reasonable doubt. Now about criminal prosecution, the duty of an accused person no legal team and as a defense team they say you raise the friend reasonable doubt. State in the bed and prove beyond reasonable doubt. Wono as a defense counsel no, duty no is to raise reasonable doubt, not beyond reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. So what it means to say through cross-examination of the witnesses for the state, you know, ubetimi reasonable doubt. Ewo case na state no no. That's why I say Drew at the time I state in because we any case no. Ubetimi a submission of no case to answer based on the evidence any law. Court no betimi agye atum. Ebi a charges no obey say bi wo how dismiss. We discharge accused persons and charges no be or so osusu say accused person open the defense. Open the defense the burden on the state. Say also prove beyond reasonable doubt no cannot exercise. It is at the end of the prosecution no case in defense we open with defense no. The court is to do a comprehensive analysis of all the evidence. Now or the law no atoto ho. No I say every ingredient of the offense I the more accused person no. Prosecution let me prove the guilt of the accused person beyond reasonable doubt. I see. If the answer is yes, that's a prosecution, a defense team and raise reasonable doubts there, then the state, the court will convict. And in the case be or can obey me as a defense counsel. Now we are then okofa lawyers we are seeing na kraba ebe defend the accused person. Evidence e wo hontino na ye be convict no enti me sa nipa no ye den a wontumi nka say ye ne lawyers e na ntumi anye ejuma nti na ya convict no because if there's overwhelming evidence state na timi approve every ingredient of the offense beyond reasonable doubt threshold na wo ho no dia o defense den na be what my point na say so eno no ebi wo ho a na bia sentencing no ubetimi a push for mitigation of the sentencing and all that. And you know it is not in all cases and a defense lawyer for an accused person no or trophy and they say young convicted or crime because the instances are the nature of the case and the evidence available no and yet the accused person will be convicted. And then me no nyadwen so I say yeah no ye hu ye say Wontumi edu baby no na eye den ya ye de ne bekọ akotum e na ye checking out no
So why did you pull out?
To be fair to Andy Apiakube, and I said to be fair to him, they say, oh, free no. One court one day, and or catch the judge and say, I withdraw the services. Then boom, or said that a motion. And the affidavit in support of the motion no ekodom court no. Emma reasons why Antia Osusu say in the best of Chairman Wontumi. I also withdraw the legal representation. And for that matter, that legal team are representing on. So to be fair to him, no, the concerns Antia or withdraw any no captured in the affidavit in support of the motion to withdraw legal representation.
The concerns never been
Ken baby I do say no my dreams say you come back it was our concerns now. The concerns ni be yes na of us kwan court no faso ene no court na osusu say bia ofrim na new face lawyer foforo bi ba e bia saa de no ebesesa e wo kwan bi so enti no mamen kan sisu dua say the decision to withdraw no was taken in the best interest of Chairman Wontumi and with the tacit and full approval of Chairman Wontumi. That I want to put on record.
Okay.
And it is not the case, who say case, the last
from time, as he by a minute, Honorable Indusa Fuseni, Dinkomo, OFD, so Nami Busano said your work, yes, you have to hear about evidence. Say wow boko no what they are dance here kroje ba they are documentary evidence but he was able to some extent convince me say any evidence ni na a documentary your evidence we are your friend no circumstantial evidence and he thinks say that was what the judge applied osusu say na no kwanso
ono or lawyer ena ono ne nsusu yem no judge no ne basis and the justification for conviction no are based on circumstantial evidence instead of documentary evidence no ono no ofuaso me so betia say as a lawyer and most lawyers also agree with the nsusu position say about specifically such a mawun to make case we no. So also why on law assignment without ministerial approval there. Now one to me am assignment now here now also assignment ni say Henry Kuma sema waka there. Ken ye susu say circumstantial evidence na judge na refer to no in this case or in this context no no any sufficient basis to convict him to me because oath against oath the oath ne say Henry Okum say Chema to me permit me say menkoye land reclamation makodua kube ken enyese kube no de na no kan say kodua kube bi as a cover up kube o modua wa asase no so no enye kube ketwa so there's evidence say wadua kube ama kube nenyi
o yadua kube ho
there's evidence say wadua kube bebre several acres of kube e wa asase no so Chema to be say saa de no na me ma wo kan say koye man ka say koye mining. It can be no work as a senka Henry Kumba court no betray ye say Wontumi Ubeka isen na wotwi bia me koye mine no wie a me be ye sales seti say de ma wo so evidence bi sa wo ha ke me metra ha no pa we enka say na ye ni evidence e kire say Chema Wontumi kwan bi su na permit de say onkoye mine because evidence would have been there say na odia
kubia na oye mine no Chema Wontumi wante da
Chema Wontumi say na onim. Chema Wontumi say wante. And omo di adanse ni nyina no beka nche oze Chema Wontumi ono concession no ya onko ho. Enti no ono de nim say ode ama Henry Okum say ondua kube. Eno nim say kube na odua. Na un says can purposefully facilitating illegal activity there. Yen fa no say ma mema o ka circumstantial evidence. Yen ka say bia sa dance bi bepue mo court to say look. Even though ka say onko dua kube no, or ye mining, police for ko che no no. Wo Chema Wontumi ko police station ko catch the police for so me boy me ana me so nkoya intini yenya no anasa on a certain date ye che excavator bia na henrokum di ye adwuma e ma wo die ni mu koye ya ko rewre ma eja excavator no because unim se oye mining anampo se ukọ agency bi ho se ukọ akoje permit bi se environmental permit na se bibi to facilitate adwuma na oye no. Then in that case you can say purposefully he was facilitating the activity. But the man says, look, man can say onkoye mining. Okuma, now so the dano so betchle say, I don't see a chresa we as onkoye mining in one for I don't see nama. A word. How can I say chairman permit any sena me mining? If that is enough to convict Chairman Wontumi for say circumstantial evidence approval say beyond reasonable doubt say na onona a man kwan say onkoye mining na. That is what the court na. And I'm saying say me as I sit here, I totally disagree with that position. Judge ni take ya other lawyers be a force idea so and can me te proposition bi ma me yem hye kakra and yen nuanom lawyers ni bi every yen nuanom lawyers ni bi na mo church me as a lawyer say wo radio to say me wo hey na wa bet na ho na wo church judge no basis antia or their convict Chairman Wontumi e bia ye brofo nti wo church mo twi a I don't have a problem because the judge na can say ken wo church them da kotwi. Demom ekoba say sanchire mu na chi no. Wonso so no ni judge no koya adwen say judge na ka say as part of the decision say Abraham Rokum kan ye say Chairman Wontumi na onim say oye mining because o kan say obema no yinema bi ode bekọ akoye sa reclamation no. O can say one farm man no. Nanke was and the appear could be a cross examine or pushy and one cross examine who ye pa to refute Sadian. Ken, to be fair to and the appear could be. Tam Bay and a society said the burden I also stated the prove the guilt of an accused person beyond reasonable doubt on a shifty call. Accused person, while a lawyer and there was all your cross examine. And can me. Betihano power take it from me. Says Andy across examine Henry Okum continuously for 1 year. It was a point now Henry Okum Kayana. It wouldn't have changed anything. Metiana maker. It wouldn't have changed anything because we really judge no judgment in as a whole. Now one you say be a mischief into ako pick that bit no kwa and now they ye analysis therefore beko blame me and the appear kubia. You will come to the firm conclusion say judge nun susuye mu no. Chairman Wontumi Emma Henry Kwan say onkoye mining. Na Chairman Wontumi asema all can say o man kwan so nkobia kubani afterthought. Say judge no position ya wo cross examination ben na the best sense ade. So my point is that person here mischievous, so be it. But okay. It will not be fair to lawyer and the appeal could be when of course our tangent say because of that you know Chairman Wontumi lawyer na anye na juma ye into that judge and na kotum. Yes, I know anye fair to lawyer and the appeal could be any team na a case. And in any case, we should the number of cogent reasons are forming grounds of appeal attaching Ayine. All based on the record now. Now sign ka say and deny ye juma ye nti na Chairman Wontumi akotuma. Now one ye fair to fair. Okay, lawyer attach ya was serving notice and I say wa file notice of appeal. Yes, hey, say more legal vacation. Erokra ho asem aba no pay wa ha. Lawyer bi atro me krata say me kan say you stand accused. Yes, no na mo ye party. Udwane free party na say. Until you stand accused. Meaning say be a legal vacation no party and was there any party yesterday? Oh, of which you were yes. Present. Endra say yeah our day. Let me say it that way. end of every year the 31st biana. Asante ba our day. Is Asante ba president why? Lawyer Uzeche. Kwame Uzeche. Yes. Also no
Methodist Women Fellowship for more patron.
Women Fellowship.
Yes, I join.
Christ assume the enkano. Ejine ya wade nti ebasa ye ne judges no. Ekuhiem.
Okay.
Na ya bompaye. Na ya de Nyankopon ase. Se wa ma afi na ko na wiye aye tinkom. Na ya san ya sre se omaya pomuden. Ene suade hunu ni nyansa. Na vacation no yentumi emfa endi ni ye na onsan maye ahoden a emuye den a next legal year no which is starting from October no ibetimi aba back na ya bedi ejuma sadia e wo se yedi no na ya keka ya no kakra enti enu asa party no na nipa na refer to and I was fully represented.
Oh yeah, sure.
I was fully represented. Yes. I was fully represented. Crampo say, I was even going to sing one of my favorite Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler. But unfortunately, you know, me tested one live band, you know, not a bed in some bit tune because no more bo ankwano be a also righteous for Sabe woman, and I say not that level, no. A bed in
lawyer in charge for we have you. Move back on dear man said the Maya, but in the closet you are very good company.
Yeah, life goes
but for records, ufus will be Africa our wishes. Eche kwame usetre.
I cannot confirm. Because I don't have the full facts. I don't have further and better particulars.
He has
so I cannot.
Lawyer, but she want to pay kwame usetre president.
So an old banda. He's an old banda.
I'm very much. Oh no, yeah, Uze. Mrana say on radio, Hello FM, the start here.
He's a perfect gentleman.
On the tiki, the start here.
Yeah.
And me babe so muka where super.
He's a perfect gentleman.
And now that you are on legal vacation, what then becomes of the appeal?
Oh, appeal, no sir. The process, you know, once you kickstart and I say, oh, what shall I see as all the notice na kodom court, no. Unze ya na appeal court, no bet na asem no so because appeal court on ya wana ye ko bon krontino e ya danse na akoso high court na appeal court no be gina so in the friend say we be compile the record of proceedings at the high court no registry no be yes ade no na wa settle the record no settle record no we are ya desire transmit sa record na ya settle no e dey court of appeal enti no e na court of appeal for no e be gina so a any written submissions are lawyers no be ya obegina so e de abu appeal no and even though yagitum say appeal no a way of rehearing of the case no based on the record of proceedings I call so high court and a court of appeal ebegina so e de di appeal.
So does that mean say
legal vacation we no susu no the registry no once the appeal process has been kickstarted, they will now begin to do the compilation or settlement of the record for onward transmission to the Court of Appeal. And the Embra next term, na hopefully no bibia no ready.
Now all registry now all more compile. No,
legal vacation. They will be there.
They will be there. Would there be any?
And I also see lawyer attach and quite say omobe put in application for bail pending appeal. Now what in the court no ebe kan fa ho.
Now more vacation who is going to sit?
There will be vacation judges. O file application bi the better judge bi anima obetie wo.
No they will no forfeiting a vacation.
Oh so vacation is a basa na e bad next term. Ya no monso so omo take omo vacation at the time I call to na resume can ya anya ne sa ne senke ko legal vacation so wo ha wa no den ye be che so akobete contempt na ye do ko tuma na 48 hours ni twama ye nya court bi a do be kwai boko akopɛ bail ama wo ene senka police for holiday.
Well say adibo ha for no kama unua ntimi ye sure say we no na all kind of just
just in the past. Yes.
Na person we say ya e wo yin na sa vacation ni any ho sensemi and it's appeal, yes, appeal and make one say me. Will there be any input from or by the prosecution and also omo de cry because they say mona Wontumi and ye de ade adi na ye ne ya okoya appeal edu say ya nkrubo foforo bi ho anase wo ya appeal no nko na wo ye tie wase
say ebase court case no ko appeal o say the be di kan ka say appeal no by way of rehearing of the case but then am say yenkobo enkrufu for ewo ho unless say bia obi the application kodom court no for leave to adduce fresh evidence na court no gitum mo o no ye say bia even though ya di case no high court awie ya compile record no or proceedings no ya transmit the call court of appeal nembom adanse bi apue mu a abra na ye di case no high court no dipa kro na opeso di ode sa adanse no be dom court of appeal no otu anamom bia na emra kwan so betimi atu na so ne nsa nka sa adanse no Sata we na adanse no abanti no adanse no soso na adanse ho hia ai betimi aboa ma omo determine appeal no enti ro dia disrede be kwa kodom court no say omma na kwanya na omfa sa fresh evidence na abasese na ebeboa the case no emfa emedom court no ma typical example there was this case omo accuse teacher ni bi se oni akra bi akwakoda ema enam soma high court no convicted no because na akra na yesi wadi 14 years o convicted no o court of appeal for so affirm the decision of the high court na enum na case no call supreme court no lipa krona na ye decide na di no say opese omokoye DNA because that time na akra na nyensen ti at the time a case no echo supreme court no na akra na wo enti no ye say supreme court emma na kwenya na akra na ya wo no onkoye DNA test na onfa DNA test no embe prove say enyo no na ni akra no da ya ema akra na nyensen ye a wa wo antia ye di na asem di na kotum no and Supreme Court ma kwan ema odisa adanse na ye DNA because they said throughout the trial no at the court of instance high court no na kra na fina na wanyinsenti na onyanwe they couldn't do any DNA court of appeal the same thing but do Supreme Court na kra na wo and the Supreme Court ma kwan ema amukoye DNA the DNA test ne be di adanse that is why because leave to adduce fresh evidence na on very minimal grounds na court no makwan but they possible which me justify why anti was here ma sa kwanya on this occasion omo man sa kwanya na okofa sa dance no bai dia ne kire ye say enyo ono na ni akra no da ya akra no enyensen ya yi no and the conviction no was quashed but it was not solely Supreme Court signed jina so ka say enye solely based on the DNA but other evidence na enke was say court no di asem no ehwehwa state no antumi amfasa dance no me kan ba be fuasa asem we say the duty of the state and as a prosecution no to prove the guilt of an accused person beyond reasonable doubt no and throughout the trial process. On this occasion, this case here, I make one sem. Supreme Court to can say, a cranum poisema or can say, teacher ni no ene die no. Na embribiano smano ma teacher ni no smano ma all the books e them. Na on one instance, can on ne colleague student back. Ena omano eboano no the book square and all that. So Supreme Court say nidi kana na prosecution am free adansia man the school for na akra no kan say na omunim say oni teacher ni no akoda no obia media adansia to confirm that. Omo san ka biem say adan na ade no baaye no omo ankoye omo ama doctor anye test to confirm say said you na be man no cry no ne hunso bi wo but I mean like those things eno nyina kan obi na Supreme Court jina so a odija sa papa no ntino the instances are court no appellate court no betimi ama wakwanya to adduce fresh evidence if you are able to justify
okay Unim a member of parliament for Akumad Offenso North, Dr. Frechi Asamwa.
Yes.
On oketwi our brepa, but was min country was ubi nyakwan, but nyese we nyakwanya, was min country. On oketwi our struggle, but also say why you good or say ubi nyakwan, and yes we nyakwanya, was min country.
Opanyaje kum, which opanyaje kuma no pay. I'm taking it in good. My dad to me good face. Second yes, yeah.
That's it. We live to learn each and every day. But the same thing on the day of judgment. Now you said lawyer attaching a decrate be a condom court no say court no entry chain and nasi and sana wa the judgment naba na ono so only one the wabechim na asema ya can we dey na all we free more cars and catch court no chain na o asem bi obe na ye dey ba asem
a referral to the Supreme Court for interpretation of aspects of the Mining Act na yegina so a na ye de kwadu aboche ma Wontumi no ono no susu yem no na ofiu say charges no say ye couch no say ye trotro no ene emra na omo gina so de charge no mpo abono no na emu nda ho yie enti na ho be hia say Supreme Court e be kirem yie na aye fine de no de kodom court na odi asem ne say enka ontwentwen so na on refer sa interpretation of sa provisions no enko Supreme Court na Supreme Court nkoa na wo akwanya say where there is an issue of interpretation of a provision bia obetumi akirem yie enti na ka court no ntwentwen so na sa application no de kodom court court no so no de usni susu yem no of you say problem bia ni the word and there is no need for any Supreme Court interpretation can I no form a part of the grounds of appeal.
The other time, so many honorable say Chimes Abusidi was a high court, are graduating the whole to
a Supreme Court,
which in his view, improper.
Precisely, that is the position. Lawyer attach and other lawyers, running for be position. Ujinano no. Judge no so na ne nsusuo na adwen ye ne say hun hia but they no enough say judge ne say na hun hia akwa appeal no benya akwanya na omo ahwehwem na omo no so aka say sa grounds no krampo na attach ya agina so aba appeal no emu yedru a ebetimi agina so ama wabo conviction na go minim say bi ebenya akwanya aba Sedinam tamako cases because
Mashada ignore yebenya akwanya na ma ignore na Dr. Frechi Asamwa abanze
yebenya kwan ken me no so we ye try radio so anyone our can news the bia no ye keka ansem na we nipa ha emu be ya du okono enso ebeka se unya akwanya but yes so tinetine ye nya kwanya not akwanya.
Okay, Mr. Gesanamwa of Bishop House, Roman Hill, and they say wa woda na oyonkofo mo fenso nyina na de krata ya ba say ma ochin kwanti. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Gesanamwa of Bishop House, Roman Hill. Sa also na Mr. Bonsu, we a fashion designer wo fenso enso sa wa yonkofo and almost ya no pay yenchia ne ma ochin kwa ena abna santo abimpon of Doxa Royal School edum o ma me say ene wa woda ye ma ochin kwa. Happy birthday to you. Up close and personal with lawyer Ogene Amankwa Gyan, notary public. Ubi say men kanche will say report yourself as soon as I discharge you from this program.
It depends on the background or yes application because regional CID commander and ISID you should know say to be declined forthwith. Especially when today is Saturday.
Lawyer, takes a constitution review committee the recommendation be about said dear hinu umpane the tenure of CJ and MPs and the president tenure. What do you say?
Can mamenti we kitu infri o can we no can say other cases no one who say I withdraw representation ewo chema Wontumi de no kra wo mu say say me fan say there call samra boy de na ya convict chema Wontumi no the chapter is closed na
is it
aka say judge no say why for too official ono wadi na asem awie nti ono as far as we concern no wa convict awie nti ono wawie na adwuma nti no say appeal na ya akwanya ewo ho na appeal process na sha ase nti na make say ho no chapter no close na mom aka tano numri forest case na ewo criminal court 1 ene sa Exim Bank case no eno nso so no say lawyer attach ya party no legal team no ana legal directorate no led by lawyer attach ya na sa case no what take over, so I can confirm say all those cases no and the appear could be say we withdraw the legal representation lawyer attach ya and I take over. No, me pese me president.
All right. Some time ago, I had a brother called Honorable Kojuban Ajimai. Review chum na minu ya pa routine nka che me sure say no pe oti Koju anope me ma ati na minim say no baby a onenam e wo mu anu ato afa first na ota ba kokwa bom uni no
o minim pa na bodwe fefefe bi no otete na bodwe na afu ayi
na bodwe de enye fe na bodwe se
dwene no
na bodwe se na wo kan nye na bodwe
ona me se na bodwe so se abodwe se
na be na watete abodwe no abodwe se no obetimi lawyer say utwi say but I have to abodwe sango Chief Constitution Review Committee sir recommendation na jamate se Ghana for ka hon say we dey me busa wo personal just 2 minutes
now say Supreme Court cases bebree no waka say your constitution no living document which say was say unze nipa sesa emre sesa enti ye koyenim no anka ne omo ye san hyehyeye na ye gitu ma be constitution no enema no bi wo ho a won susu yem saa bere no en wo de ye san hyehyeye no embre ko nanima society ye nyi a enema sesa ne ho behia say brano no ye be sachra sa constitution num na enne ana say enema ye ni sesie no atumi ayeden agina yie enti ho behia say periodically no ye be review of the constitution na wo be kaya President Mills former president nyame fa ne kra ensie na abreso no Raymond Atuguba at the time any empanyimfo bi yetiomo as constitutional review commission mo ko Ghana ha nyina bo apro ye bulky document so obi ameme wo ba ko bulky document bia na Ghana for adwenkyere ye nsusuye ye timpo na bibia na wo sa document num no enko wiase no sa krata no anko anwie bia president omo issue we bi was ntino yantimi afa enhwe. Fast forward, Papa ya uboni di, I have a lot of respect for him. Honorable Osechi Mensa Bonsu. Sompahine. Ononsuso abra na oye leader ewo mrase bedwem no. Ononsuso na osanye minister for parliamentary affairs no. Ononsuso te committee bia omonsuso bo apro ewo Ghana ha tietie nkrufo kuchire ndema na eno nsoso ndema fapem ewo the democracy we no nsachaya na wosusu se ewo se yedeba omonsuso wi omujumade ba fofia antoata na MPP free so enti abra President Mahama ba ya ote kwasi Prempe Constitutional Review Committee we no omo de sa omo terms of reference no President Shell say omonkofa the previous constitutional review report no na won incorporate Sunday mano bisa Ghana for adventure so that we have a comprehensive review of the constitution. Ken enema na wode ebaye no me na me nsusu na behwe se enka owie won dwumadie no Ghana for benya akwanya na senior president ne cabinet enya akwanya a review a wode won adwenkyere abasisi aye discuss na nka Ghana for nsusu benya akwanya say okay
benya kwan lawyer
sa wa cheche senior won nsusu hu sa report but be that it may now president and then the cabinet ekoshia and based on attorney general advice and I would de won susu ye fast report no about ken
chief
the American say presidential term ye di free 4 years ye dey call 5 years no obeka ya president Kufuor kra bra obe free so no o yes a suggestion no maybe susu say afe ba ko pe a ebia ye dey beka ho no enka ensheda ensesa bibia ebrusu bia because kan so konya abanfo so asabi na osan atena wo so afe ba ko aka ho ana se ade a etimi sesan de mapi but maybe nsusu yem de enka 4 years no enka ensehwe
am se meso sa
4 years no enwo ho because 4 years 2 terms na 8 years. Say about 4 years and I went to me and found mobra papa be a sound. A wound ya see a between 5 years. And in any case, idea here I was here, and then I'm more I will see it too. No, Ken is not say will be a 4 years will be a 5 years. Ye here structural changes.
I.e.
and say, and near my ye bet to me a DSC ho. Ama democracy na ye pese. Yeshemu kinano atimi adimu no eno ne hia institutions na ewo ho no ene wo se ye hwese yetimi build strong and solid institutions ene na ye bedrock of every democracy yetimi build sa institutions na nipa no nsusu aye wo oman no a democracy ne ye di djuma no nsusu no ye nsusu ye our orientation ye trimpo ene ya na montuo ni ebibia no ye tene no kense ya anya ne sa ne ye bia ye ma 10 years 2 terms kura nkosi hwe enkosi aga
na CJ mandatory 10 years
me ho me susu se ho hia
na CJ no go be say fa say retiring engineer time
ho hia ne tie ne say o za na me ka say ye ma kwanya na
ye ma okay I montias yes sir. You're better, sir. Don't worry yourself again.
See, Makwain. Okay. Makwain na institutions ye juma. CJ na owo say odi 2 years o, say odi 3 years o, say o free ho na CJ foforo eba. And the mapana ye de asisi akwaiment no. Ebema juma e wo so omudie no mbedi ni ye sa man sa na ma term no to twa 10 years so betwa 20 years na structures no enya juma ya ken enkosiaga and me no I'm not so much enthused about say ye sisa we nkofa ye we nya we structures and I was say this is me no ka say
yes sir
obi wo ho a the case ebia land case no the court I did 10 years. The other asem no call we be budi more than 10 years. The other asem no court no wu. Ama ye substitute no ama ye substitute no wu. Ama ye substitute no so wu and asem no still append in the way. Justice Ben was idea with. I say ye prepare who say eba criminal cases ye political opponent ye ndi asem no to say speedboat because they crazy so ye jaili no ye pushing no but it was say systemic the entire judicial system no it was say ye nhihye bia ebebua na asem dia content ke me no kasa no pawe me ntiase se ena technology akọ nanimu a yebetimi aye virtual hearing se me pese me serve process na wo ken wafa akwanya bisu nyansa kwan bisu say process no obey evade service na me pese me call for substitute service a edenti na was a me lawyer no physically because jina judge anim expert application no me twa print ticket free Kumase e konkran physically no eko jina judge anim eko movie expert application to serve you by substitute service adentia
say yes beginning
of expert meaning say me nkwa na me this application akodom court based on affidavit me data normally no say nye bibi pa na ye rema in 100 cases no emu 90 court no be granted.
But some say beginning October and
concrete ko jina court physically.
Some beginning October matches
me kwa ko dru ho say judge and trance. Na ma say twa ticket na ma back. E didn't.
It will say.
We can do virtual hearing of those harmless applications. Sabi Kumase a ya mama time I can sit in the comfort of my office. Judge na be trance ya mama kwan. Never move my application. Court no grantee we I will go for the order and do the needful.
But Chief Justice I can't say. No, the person confirm us. So what to say Chief Justice beginning October also.
Can you can't say yeah be make sure say e-filing yeah shall say World Bank for crab brace can they say for ski yet me to sana mo. That was a Chief Justice winner or IT in crime power. The whole or being or about IT or a shack ewo enti no enya me won say na abre so obepese obeja judiciary bia ye de sa de man kitinkiti bia e betumi dia because they wait a second lawyer me find the second makoye application for interlocutory injunction mene e bia lawyer
ya boafo
ya lawyer ya boafo president ene koye yako Agye court no ebe ma eye ni ruling edenti na also be twa plane ticket konkran appear physically before the judge na judge no ko read the ruling adan na judge no to mean deliver the ruling no abre kwa me wo Kumase a lawyer boafo e bi o won kran ya obi ate ni PC anima judge na be deliver the ruling. Why should we physically be present?
Be a can court.
No, I never be a can you bet me
our Lord Chief Justice. Savvy in
when
IT.
It comes to IT, yes.
But Banisena, say yes first, not assigning of cases to judges. Nay computerized.
Yeah, say yes, yeah.
But Banisena or no by there or no worry versus our trend will be a in said the workers were IT inclined.
Yes, same way the empathy.
Bizamia.
This means me, yeah, no one quite a bit. Me actually, my
Chief,
because the currency as I didn't buy and say, be ya, encoba say a basse, a same way, a faken who, and their Chief Justice, Wakofa judges are, Ususu say, or mobe diako hanti and or montrans same way. So say, ba electronic. Allocation or assignment of cases are and there's a machine na ye and no yanko blame obi say or share that say or the case way come my judge way because on him say judge way be ma favorable decision I echo say or what must say.
But does he have any interest at all as to which way the verdict goes?
Ken justice about justice also be on the definition of justice. And sir, they are assemna call the favor and to say when justice. They are assemna quality and no to say when justice.
Say Wontumi
precisely. Oza Wontumi the Kodru baby so who send piana a pupu cram say the wine the way interest and why they related to wine and Sanya. So Tebea Sanya Mandema no NCNT. And now even with the Sedinam Tamakro case ya abe crano. So share issues are baba living panel say but me I don't subscribe to Saudi and say Chief Justice special that say or in panel a particular group be because of any I don't subscribe to Saudi. But to avoid say be ya ni obi adwin ponya ni santi no ken say your system bi wo ho a eno na ye automated run as Saudi we be free ho on dey say
na say Saudi
we be free ho
Saudi net here. Okay, two quick ones. We are running out of time. Two quick issues. Rulings are a Supreme Court about one. Yes, this is a party member of good standing or who can say or tuaba. Inti say Koko Basse say me a party member na me wo ye can say Ashanti region ha Greater Accra for tuaba mitimi tubi. And as I say na city and the tosumi you know and so say the OSP beat me prosecution but the Attorney General beat me discontinue so na me dey metia say
this is why a pocket lawyer medical so the medical can say you share article 11 of the constitution you can law article 11 the my laws of Ghana. Na laws of Ghana no baako a eka ho Supreme Court decisions what they ba abonten. It is a Supreme Court the decision be ba abonten. Until say be parliament be ye mra bi a obesesa saa assembly Supreme Court can it becomes part of the laws of Ghana. And then you say Professor Frimpong Boateng ene empanyimfo bi time ni honti ena
Dr. Nyahota Makro
ni Chris Amakunia na omukeka mo se omususu se political party delegate system no se ne wo ho se ahenefo kakra bi ene kohia okoyi wona obe presidential candidate wona obe parliamentary candidate no court no interpret the constitution say eno no any constitution no ye botaye ni etumpo ne boabra enti ne beboa ne say ye ma obi o ye card bearing member of a political party in good standing say ye to about a presidential candidate ye to about a parliamentary candidate every card bearing member in good standing should have opportunity to also vote and ken sa no mo aka no e no mo asen aka say omo ama political parties you know say within 1 year omo enhwe say omo mbra ewo ho omo constitution any bylaws I wo ho regulatory elections no ombeyen sachaya ebema sa mbra we no atumi adi juma ewo omo parties no and ebiem so no previous elections wedi kan de emraya ewo ho sisi ewo mu books no maye no court no say eno de ebegina it is after 1 year ena omontumi enyewe can
chief
personally I subscribe to Supreme Court for asema omakano me my candidate ena obi bia ogina akopere opese oye penyimu a obeda major political party obeda enim se oye chairman ana se oye general secretary ken anopeya amene wo kasei se sai dipa no susu se decision as Supreme Court ede aba no asodie ba ko beba beda political parties so ene say ombe hieska bebre ana resources pia wode ebe ko organize internal elections no Supreme Court accept na waka no say nye state no na ebe fund sa activity no dia e de how ne asodie beba be da political parties so ken me susu yem no so person okoye chairman of the New Patriotic Party o person obedi general secretary of the New Patriotic Party na wontumi enye enhyehyeye wontumi enya anamontuo a ebema a party like New Patriotic Party a boast of enkrofo a won BBD enkrofo a wo nimde enkrofo a wo pepa enkrofo a chese crème de la crème se wontumi enyusu saa nipa na omo wo saa resources no en organize resources I bet me ama wa to aba every card bearing member in good standing beto aba. Ken, you are not fit to lead the party.
But so we aspiring. Wouldn't this seat no so no waka say we use acumen and prowess they are generating resources. Say me aspiring member me person me be general secretary. Me I am not responsible for
you are seeking to lead the political party. This is almost
yes, I'm
seeking point say as part of say Abia Ankane. Now also person called general secretary. Na sabre no the status quo ne say selected few be na kotwaba. Into say manageable. And they are Supreme Court this a decision we aba. So susu say wo de wonsusu yem no ni the nimdie any strategy betimi ama party etimi mobilize resources. I ensure say every card bearing member beto aba don't go and contest. Because now is a who ideas no point here I'm making. Obi a who seek say ubekwa lead NDC or NPP sabri as Supreme Court the decision we obey. So unsusu yem no wontumi organize party betimi mobilize resources.
Just say almost especially NDC. Almost any to almost presidential. Minim se bia.
No, but this decision is not going to affect.
It won't affect them.
1 year within which.
Okay, be
1 year within which.
It is say no. Obi a wo beba be no e na asudi da no so but they say wa wonya meye me fan say wo mo person ba
no presidential candidate. I'm talking about party leadership. Okay. Because a party in the was it
is a constituency level no
in the constituency level parliamentary and presidential
yes. And
now the party can decide to say because of their Supreme Court canteen even at the constituency level the constituency say parliamentary candidate it is going to be say obia beto abanobi it is an etie dia ye even constituency executive so krana e be pese card bearing member bia beto bia it is perfectly within the remit of the party.
Who determines who is party member in good standing?
That is up to the party. And you know Ken the party no e won the database and as obe build the database now why you say every month card bearing member bia betua not less than 10 cedis. Now, Ken, we will be our strategies are. And there are so many people are very proud to say, ube categorize and say, oye platinum card bearing member of the party. And instead of every month to be 10 cedis, no, only are ready to pay 1,000 cedis every month. You have people who willingly pay. Ube to me design a system where we be say already according to say or a gold card bearing member of the party. And in the month you ready say obetua 2,000 Ghana cedis for the party. You get people who graciously
now, at the end of the day, almost so what problem they say people will register and be in the books of the party.
So good standing meaning say party no definition she say the beba say bia every month also to dues so default for 5 months and default for 3 months then what lose position as a good standing.
Sika determines who is
not at all.
Until say me CPP ni na my header aba register say MPP na me tua me dues month bia 10 cedis. Now ye kwako ye koto aba. How genuine?
Miss Adena, Crofo cancer as a name.
No, sir, I don't get it. I almost thinking.
There are genuine MPP people are. Few days to election, or more defected. Other political parties. There are genuine NDC people are. It do election time. Election day based on Bibinti. Or to Mrs. Some Wabian Kotoma MPP. Who be sada? A party na so dear so be say. Obi a also oye card bearing member no genuinely believe in the ideals of the New Patriotic Party.
How would you know?
And nani team there na make us so obi na also say oye strong card bearing member of your party. What is the guarantee so ko jina box on moto abaman pipi? What is the guarantee? Anything that Shakespeare can say, you can never find the mind's construction on the face of any human being woni trim enti ne se nipa no ko gina adaka ma what the guarantee say ya okwa to abama party now so a party
no ya ma ko gya em say area but na me person busa o ayi so so OSPD no yes say Supreme Court a clarify but don't say conundrum na e wo ho no okay the confusion
na e wo ho no ye basa no ene say who say previously no na OSP e wo ho ankwa no ma OSP na wo ho odi ni juma BP time na NDC ba na o say because who's a Ken problem no start free article 88 of the constitution titro article 88.3 of the constitution I am sa prosecutorial powers no vested only in the attorney general and whoever be our organ or prosecute to be no must prosecute on the fiat or on the permission of the attorney general. Now Ken kwayana Ghana ye fa so aye navigate ya ye kofa OSP act na de ba ye ne say te say dia ye hunu sesi ai say NDC wa aban ya na NDC is in a haste to prosecute political opponents the MPP people MPP ba aban MPP is in a haste to prosecute NDC people and you do me I do you you do me I do you na eno mwa em fight against corruption entina ye hwe system a ubenya obi obetimi anya prosecutorial powers a enye attorney general a ono ye cabinet minister ontimi hwe ni nua cabinet minister nim se o prosecute no na nko ono de watimi aye effective prosecution other places no omo independent prosecutor ba yenye de na ye hwe kwan be fa so e be navigate article 83 and ye kofa OSP de no buy but aban we buy attorney general we no for whatever reason no ne say permission na owosa OSP be here the be prosecution no was say each case bia no ochro ekoje express permission from the attorney general but OSP act no and as OSP say no so no osha parliament ema OSP to me say back corruption and corruption related offenses ya ma special prosecutor no to me obetimi initiate criminal prosecution because it is deemed they say or prosecute on the express powers or express authority of the attorney general and the cover so be called high court no koye say in each case, I just say OSP could express permission from the attorney general and the conference issue we buy. Supreme Court clarify say look, OSP act no. Whole coin say special prosecutor or your prosecution. Nebum the power to enter nolle prosequi as contained in section 1954 of Act 30, Criminal Procedure Act no. That power no hostile. So what it means is say even though OSP betimia initiate criminal prosecution. The attorney general tumia or was say or also be enter nolle prosequano. So now Supreme Court to say e wo ensesa.
Na ye koya na ye buy.
Ye koya na say buy and say yemfa say OSP. I initiate criminal prosecution against a certain member of the NDC. That's the attorney general yes wa enter nolle prosequi. The records will be there to show say then attorney general interfere with the work of the OSP. But moving forward,
not the prosecutor saying.
Oh, me interested.
So if the attorney general is not interested in the prosecution, not special prosecutor, interested.
No, ordinary no. Abambia obabia promises say oba fight against corruption. It is a special prosecutor or effective. Mean a special prosecutor or the office me when you may be almost die. So effective. No bet me I say or bois ama abina or teso no cranite me fight against corruption. But I won't know yes or be interfere now or internal prosecutor. Then the records will be there to show say wono about accountability. Wasema wukano ene wone ya we ene boabra. And the people of Ghana will then form an opinion as to your commitment to the fight against corruption.
Also said various governments, do people's opinions matter to them?
Then the only way to measure and the only way to show they say do abattoir.
You always have your way, and they will have your say, and they have their way.
Personally, OSP, be disappointment. I war OSP, and your personal because Kiseja been a war. But right from the onset, and your OSP, I have insisted to say, Ghana young gravitated towards a situation where you be used to structures, any modern technology, and they prevent. Say obi be wia sika dan say ye be fire service approach say nipa na di sika na wie no na afi ne yesi ye nko prosecute no na sika na nipa na die no wedi ewie
ade na da bia nsoso no nipa no edi sika na wie o wa ban mu aye hu ofura ban mu aye ne yehu
eno ne problem no second say ye ne ya ye de a modern technology ne ne ma wo hwa e betimi dia prevent saade no ade na ye ntu saa na mo no because anybody this can we said in Tamaklo case I can was me if about 90 million Ghana cedis of taxpayers money has gone down the drain now said the ayapim na kudru ya court of appeal verdict ya by any whole repay says the money is gone and gone forever and it keeps recurring. Why can't we prevent
with the court of appeals ruling it tells us say no amount has been chopped.
And just a court of appeal kind.
No court of appeal.
Yenya brand command. The court of appeal decision and say Sedinam Tamakru charges na ye de born no. Nyina. Ebi wo ho a court of appeal no abo charges na go because omunsusu yem no. The charges were incurably defective. Meaning say charges now mo de ball no titro ne ye causing financial loss and willfully causing financial loss any related offenses no obo ni nyina gu ye because court of appeal no nsusu yem no kwan a state no for aso a o craft charge sheet no particulars no am sufficient information into our boss charges na gu but ken eno nkyere say court of appeal sisika de bia nkoso ne tosu mienu cases relating charges relating to stealing ene ne keka hono hono de court of appeal amangu because the charge sheet was defective but omu boguye because of say lack of sufficient evidence ene ebisusu say high court no shifted the burden no from the accused from the prosecution no e the co-accused person no into also stay the conviction enye yi ena wabagu ken no enchre say
said that bit no gives hope for Wontumi.
I mean me the makan say me can say because of cases and I say decision I want make you was Sedinam Tamaklo nti and I want to make case no a war success a war chance of success at appeal. My point is say me manya kwenya ahwe grounds of appeal attach and file and me nsusu yem no sa grounds no okamba sa strong points in the year na court of appeal for 8 sa 7 year no mo de toto ye mra ho an I am hopeful say Wontumi's appeal will be determined on the merit of Wontumi's appeal, not because of the court of appeal account was said in Tamaklo. But the lesson a woman say issues about how charges were crafted and the shifting of evidential burden it may come to play but don't forget say court of appeal differently constituted the different verdicts any assessment about they don't need to comply. And I said they don't need to follow the decision. Court of appeal, yeah, it's not. Sedinam Tamaklo so dey. But until I me say, court of appeal, omotena say judges miensa. And omabo all the charges no ne. Ayine nyina gu aya kwashe conviction no. Ada say, and once the conviction is quashed, no, the sentence automatically is gone.
Okay, quick questions.
Me per se. Can you ever Ghana for because if you nra ebesi ene no tin Ghana for kasa ye say in your court of people na can e final omo awie omo chapter can say state aserve notice say obeko appeal no omo ko no be based on the record yin so na mamanya akwanya ahwe submission because nra na me ka say attorney general genuinely Opeso convince Ghana for say Opeso ye appeal against Sedinam Tamakura de wina. Young cautious submission.
Na court of appeal a year ruling appeal no sa ko anyway.
Oh, Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Okay. Court of appeal no more 3. It is a 2. No, say 2 a ruling for a case. Now 1 against her. 2.
A majority decision,
okay.
yes.
But
when the other unanimous.
The time was so.
Can I hope a war say Sedinam the NDC hope a war say Attorney General Ewasundie say Omobe committed to this appeal to the Supreme Court. Why? Because Ken, sir, decision we are Court of Appeal there, but it raises fundamental issues, serious issues. As our serious issues, you say Supreme Court man the decision on that. Na you say ye nim no about crafting or drafting of charge sheet. Say there was a no ye nim no say ba say evidential burden say any society, even though on numerous occasions or when can be, but me per se on this particular case Supreme Court benya kwenya now determine one fundamental idea so on be determine say preliminary legal objection as state in raise ESS because na Sedinam only Ghana ntino na onye entitled as of right to say obey apply to the Court of Appeal to overturn the decision. A decision a high court to my Court of Appeal bossa a preliminary legal objection negoye. Now Supreme Court will also should have opportunity to either agree or disagree. I mean there are fundamental issues also Supreme Court in Kwenya no determine
lawyer or but finally Chairman Wontumi ko what me akosra.
Personally, minya ekwenya enko, but in the course of the week, I'll find time.
All right.
My office nako, and the appeal could be led by the have opportunity to visit him. Or yes, I know day. So on shedding the SCA for now, no dear SCA. He's a man. He's of a strong will. On shedding, I am shedding appeal.
Lawyer,